Napoleon, the brand new film starring Walking Phoenix as Tyrell, which is an Apple exclusive film, which means after it has its theatrical run, it will be on Apple TV Plus, and that's it. That's where it stays. They own it. That's where it's going to be. And it's also directed by Weekly Star. Now, the weird thing about Weekly Star for me is I know a lot of people, a lot of cinephiles like me, treat Weekly Star as one of the greats. I do not. He's one of those filmmakers for me that everyone loves. And every time I go see one of his movies, he's like, I'm always like, yeah, that was fine. That was good. Okay. No, that was kind of bad. Like, that for me is most of my, or literally every time I watch a really soft film. If it's Gladiator, if it's Alien or Blade Runner, I'm like, meh, fine, good, doesn't live to the hype or anything on those lines. So watching, going to see Napoleon because it's directed by him doesn't do it for me. I saw the movie. I saw the movie because of the trailers, and I was really intrigued by it, by the trailers and the marketing, and I was like, this looks pretty good. So I go see the movie, and the film is a weird thing to talk about because the movie has two halves, right? That like the first 90 minutes I really enjoy. The last hour, that's when I'm like, okay, this is way too long because it's 2 hours and 36 minutes long. Like this could easily be trimmed down a little bit. This could be this and that, and trimmed down. And why this scene's happening? Why is that happening? Why are we seeing that scene again? Like literally, spoiler alert, it's a History Channel movie in a way. He gets exiled twice in the span of 30 minutes. And I'm like, pick one. Does he exile onto one island in like the first time, or you pick the ending one? I will cut out the one that is halfway through the film. So when he's exiled again, it doesn't feel like, so he kind of got back to, when he left the island, he came back to the island, or a different island, with the same consequence. Okay. Anyway. But here's the weird thing, right? I said that I enjoyed the first half of the film, like the first 90 minutes of the film, where we got Napoleon, he's like shared with Josephine, his wife, and the Peruvian suite, and of course the battles are spectacular. The battles are alone. If you're going to see the movie, the battles alone is the reason that you should go and see it on the big screen. Like for me, movies should always be on the big screen. I don't care if you have a budget of $5 or $2 million. You go to the big screen. You have a full-on theatrical experience. That's where you do it. Hearing me, Netflix? Like a film like, I don't know, Werewolf fucking Moon? Anyway. We don't, there's no data that supports the information. Ugh. Netflix. Jeez. They annoy me sometimes, the way they behave business. Anyway, when you have data that proves something, but they're still too stubborn to do the thing that shows that the data. Anyway. But the weird thing is about that second half. Is that the second half makes you question the first half. That makes you go, wait, why is this scene here? Like, the only scene at the beginning, I was like, why is this scene here? Could you just easily cut that scene out? Is him opening a mummy coffin when he wins a battle in Egypt. And he starts just looking at mummy's like corpse, and he's like, oh, here you go, mate. Hey, yeah, how are you? Oh, everything's good. And puts the hat on the coffin and all that kind of stuff. I was like, that scene could easily be cut out. But then I realized the whole Josephine storyline of like, and I couldn't help but be like, really, this is what we're going for here? Is essentially the big, romance thing that we're having, because clearly, so, Napoleon's last words, essentially him listing the three things he loved in life. He loves France, so he loves his country. He loves the battle. So he loves being on the battlefield, which there's a lot of them. I feel bad for the horses. I mean, if you're an animal lover and clearly a horse lover, ain't gonna be the move for you because horses don't fall onto the ground. They get like holes in their necks. It's a really a little horses get murdered in this film. I will say that digitally, of course. But the third thing he loves Josephine. He loves his wife, and you think, cool, awesome. Like, let us get a sense of this relationship. Why does he care about her? And why does Josephine care about Napoleon? All that kind of stuff. And they go to the pretty cliche. I realize it's kind of cliche where you're doing a period piece and you're doing the whole, why haven't you given me air? Like, it's a very common thing these days as well, which is a couple who want to have kids, who want to have a family, and can't deliver. And whoever is the reason, maybe it's the guy who shoots blanks down. Maybe maybe it's too little, too late for with on the female side of things. Like, whatever it is, it's a very common thing. But you realize in a PvP situation, I was like, I couldn't help but look back and be like, is that really the best thing you could do? Like, maybe that was the actual conflict in real life, because, it's a biopic. I couldn't help but go like, could you do a little bit more with it? I mean, you have these letters, right? And sometimes it is a bit weird, like when these letters voiceovers, because constantly the two characters keep writing letters to each other about, Napoleon said, Josephine, you are my beloved, and I care you so much. And and Josephine's writing roughly the same thing as, my dear Napoleon, I am your wife, and these love things. Meanwhile, there's a scene where, two scenes actually, where Napoleon is having a conversation with the Emperor of Russia and saying, so your sister, is she seeing anyone lately? Applying that, can she give me air? And then the next thing is Napoleon meeting her. And then the next thing after, oh, here comes the baby. But the next thing is, my beloved Josephine, I am the beloved. I couldn't help but go like, dude, you just fuck another woman. Clearly you don't fully love her. Clearly, she's not that fully on your heart if that's the way, if you're going to do stuff like that. I was like, okay, sometimes it is oddly placed. It's very oddly placed where sometimes these voiceovers go. But I couldn't help but be like, outside maybe the odd scene here and there, I was like, instead of having, maybe, 2 hours of like typical romantic bullshit and that romantic stuff that only happens around, maybe it'll be a little bit too much. But then pick those moments. When do you have it? Maybe you do not. Because what it is, it's like these voiceovers of these letters express it. It kind of expresses like, hey, these two people, we do care of each other. Yeah. So you can have Napoleon having, the movie can literally have this political intrigue and have all the battles and all the stuff that's warned. That is very interesting and the political aspect of things. It's that makes the first 90 minutes really well done sing a little bit more, and it flows a little bit more out through it. I mean, the second half of it. I mean, the last hour, yeah. The thing that really got me what we're doing here is this whole him on exile for a year, and then he's like, fuck this, I'm heading back to France. That's the only thing in that thing I'm like, yeah, you could easily cut that entire thing out. and just have him on the battlefield. Or Josephine died. Spoiler. Josephine died. It's based on real history, guys. You can look at it on Wikipedia. So Josephine dies. He reacts. Then he goes to, and then you have the rest of it. You cut. You could easily cut like 10 minutes of it. It's just like the whole thing of like look, Ridley Scott has like a 4-hour version of this movie that apparently is going to be on, which will be on Apple. But for this 2.5-hour version, I'm like, it could easily be 2 hours, maybe 2:10, not clearing credits, or maybe 2 hours, clearing credits as well. It would sing a little bit more. I mean, more halted there, and also able to hit the points that the story needs it, and once you hammer home, if there's, if the 3 words, if someone said, hey, away from this film, take it away from this film, if you want to ask who was this man, and what did he love the most, it was those 3 things. He loved his country, he loved being on the battlefield, and he loved his wife. Those are the main 3 things. And you can still focus on those main things if it was a little bit more tied up, personally for me. But yeah, I mean, would I recommend seeing this movie in theaters or wait a couple of months when it's on Apple? It's a tough one to say, really. But yeah, I just like, for me, if I say good, you know what? I would say this: it's a solid movie. It's solid. It's good. It's not great. It's good. It's fine. That's what I call Napoleon. I mean, the performances are great. Walking Phoenix is great as Napoleon, and Anessa Kirby as Josephine is great in it as well. Great performances, all that kind of stuff. It's just how the movies pieced together, and how the movies pieced together, and what they find it. What really sought for was a portion to keep in the theatrical cut, but maybe the 4-hour cut later, whenever, might be a better version. You never know.